discussing getting ready to find buyers for products. One of the time when you talk to exporters, as far as issue of export is concerned, more often than not, there are always concern and issue around the challenge of being able to get buyers. I will use a case study, and the case study was part of the case study I did for a particular book I wrote called Beauty Go Global. And what I tried to do in the book is to look at different issues that affect businesses when it comes to export, particularly as it has to do with export readiness, because readiness actually transcends different areas. For example, if I'm trying to get buyers and I find it difficult to get buyers, it's a sign or challenge of readiness. If I ship a product, for example, and the quality is discovered to be bad at destination, it's a challenge of readiness to get buyer. Because if I have those understanding ab initio, it becomes a lot easier for me to have prevented that from happening. So instead of learning in the process, that I'm learning on the job, we can actually learn ahead. And that's the whole essence of having this kind of conversation. What you sell does not really matter as much as how you sell it. So what you sell does not really matter as much as how you sell it. You can have a very good product, but you are not able to sell it because of how you are selling it. There's so many products that can be sold from Nigeria, and people are doing a lot of exports. Some are doing legal, documentation, but a number of people are doing what I would call illegal in Nigerian content because documentation are not put in place. So I will start with a case study. Now, I have about 15 of these case studies covering across different areas of readiness, but the focus today, because the focus here is on purchaser, will be on purchaser, and I want you to follow me in this story. These are live cases. Now, there's a legal agro-processing company in Nigeria, a small-scale manufacturing company, process agricultural commodities, beans into beans chips. The product have the requisite local certification and has begun to gain acceptance among many supermarkets. The product has gained acceptance among Nigerian diaspora who tasted the product during their visit to Nigeria and took some back to Europe. In order to make the product available to the family that tasted and liked it, some of these Nigerians in Europe reached out to manufacturers in Nigeria to export the product to them. In answer to this demand, and in order to save costs on the shipment process, the manufacturer struck a deal with a warehousing company in Europe and did a bulk shipment there. These European companies expected to keep the goods in the warehouse and arrange the dispatch of the goods to the interested buyer in Europe and also collect payment based on instruction received from the manufacturer in Nigeria. This means the interested buyer in Europe will contact the Nigerian manufacturer to place their order, and the manufacturer will then instruct the warehousing company in Europe to package the goods and dispatch them to the buyer in Europe based on the detail of order received, and then collect payment for both product and for delivery. However, after the first bulk shipment has been done to the European warehouse, very little demand has been placed for product by those who showed interest initially. The problem is that the manufacturer took the decision to stock the warehouse abroad based solely on a few interested buyers for its product in Europe. The manufacturer also failed to spend money on promotion in order to reach other potential buyers in Europe, since many potential buyers do not know that the product exists and where to get it. This made the product to incur warehousing costs unnecessarily, since little or no order came in from the interested buyer. The product eventually expired in the warehouse and had to be destroyed, leading to a huge loss for both of the product and, of course, warehousing costs for the manufacturer. The lack of demand for the product were based on the lack of promotion on the export market. A gap caused by over-reliance on a few diaspora orders initially placed for their product before shipment, and lack of understanding on the part of manufacturer on the need to do some promotion. This is one of the issues I noticed about a number of businesses going to export. No one wants to spend money on promotion because promotion is seen as a cost rather than an investment. Am I making sense, please? Promotion is seen as a cost rather than an investment. Promotion is not a cost, it's an investment. Because if I invest in the promotion, then it helps me at the end of the day. Because, and interestingly, if I do it well, I might not incur that cost twice. I might just incur it once, because now I have 2 or 3 people who will be buying from me. And if they begin to buy from me, I might not need, in fact, they might be the one to be telling their colleague or friends who might also be interested in my product in the future. So promotion is not a cost, promotion is an investment. Because of the lack of capacity to know how to promote the product in the export market, and this business is not ready to go global because its promoter is either not willing or unable to promote the product in the export market. Conclusion on this case study, the company in this case experienced some symptom of lack of export readiness in a business that wants to go global. For instance, depth of knowledge and depth. The fact that the business lacks capacity and understanding of the need to promote its product is a sign of lack of readiness to go global. The case also shows that the export readiness factor that this company lack among the 5P of export readiness criteria is promotion. There are different criteria in export readiness. The promoter needs to be ready. The product needs to be ready. The pricing needs to be ready. The staff predisposition needs to be ready because the staff can mess up the transaction. The purpose for exporting needs to be ready. Why am I going into export? If the reason, I tell my client that don't use money you want to use to pay school fees to export. Particularly if you are starting export, require a patience fund. And the reason is because if you don't have other important reasons why you are going into export, if it's just to be profitable, which is not bad, if that's the only reason, there are other businesses you can do locally to be profitable. You must be looking for other things. Maybe you are looking for forex. Maybe you are looking for an importer who need forex. That's it. In fact, there are importers today who are exporting. They are not looking for profit, though. They are not looking for profit for their export. They are looking for forex. So even if they make 5%, they are okay. Because they are already making a lot of money from import. But now if they are getting forex at a cheaper rate, it made them more competitive in import. So there must be other reasons why we're importing instead of export, beyond just being profitable. Because there are challenges sometimes you face that might mean, look, is it even worth it in the first place? Some people want to build a global brand. They don't want to just create product that will just be in Nigeria. Some people are actually converting there because of the challenge with Naira. They want to convert their Naira to FX. So they export, the FX come in, they don't touch it. They just export again. So different people have different objectives. If those objectives are not defined, so that what our purpose does is it motivates you to go ahead even when you have challenges. Because if you don't have no motivation, if it's just to make profit, then you look for, particularly if you're a business person and you have another business that's making money, you ask yourself, why am I even struggling and slaving away in this particular area? So the company in this case experienced a symptom of lack of export readiness to go global. For instance, depth of knowledge. One of the biggest challenges in export is knowledge gap. And you either learn by experience or by education. Either you pay the school fees through experience or you pay the school fees through education. I've paid both. I've paid both. So, but sincerely, there are so many things you could have avoided if you spend more time to learn. For one reason or the other, some people don't want to learn. It's amazing in our country. You are going to invest 10 million. You're going to invest 50 million in a business. And you're finding it difficult to spend, even if it's 5% of that to learn. So what I tell people, I say, that's an insurance for you. That it costs you, it's an insurance. And you'll be amazed at what it can save you from. Let me give you an example. I was subpoenaed by court in the southeast. So I was in Anambra. That was 16-17. Yes, I was in the court on the 18th because I remember traveling during that holiday on the 18th. Now, why was I invited to the court? To educate the court on what a bank should have done in a case of someone that exported sesame seed to, I think, UAE, using a letter of credit, but he didn't get paid. So he now sued the banks, the two banks involved that received it, sued them because there's something the bank should have done that they didn't do. He sued them. So they now have to invite an expert. So I went as an expert witness to educate the court that, look, this is what the rules say, international trade rules says about letter of credit, what could have been done. Now, where I'm going is this. That exporter, before he did that shipment, could have asked the bank for that thing that the bank did not do before he goes ahead to do, which is, for example, the local bank. Because the letter of credit was fake. So that bank here it's very rare. I've been in trade for almost 20 years. I've not seen it. I've only seen it once. I don't know if Soji has seen it. Because I also used to be in trade finance in Ecobank. I've only seen it once. Interestingly about this case, when the case broke out, we were discussing, I don't know if you saw it, Soji, on the Trade Professional Forum. Yes. We're discussing it. ICC was invited. They told me to give my opinion. So when eventually the court, the guy took the bank to court, eventually I was contacted. If you receive an LC, it's important you tell the bank to send a message to the bank that received it to validate that this LC was issued by them. If that was done, it would have been realized because the LC came through another channel, but claiming it came from a particular bank. And that bank would have denied that, no, this is not from us. If that message was sent to that bank. Now, as simple as that is, about $80,000 is going down the drain. But you know these things, let me tell you what's happening in the Nigerian banking industry right now. There is brain drain. A lot of people are leaving. And new people are being replaced without being trained. So there is a very wide knowledge gap. It's if you have technical transaction that you will realize it. If you have a big transaction and you know how it's being handled, now maybe someone else now handling it, you now see the lapses. That's what you know. If not, you won't know. There's a big challenge in Nigerian banking is right now. They can't help it though, because the people are jackpotting. And the people that jackpot are the people that are very good at what they do. Because that's what the people abroad need. So, and it's happening in trade finance, it's happening in IT, it's happening in different sectors of the economy. People are leaving, and it's a big challenge. So that probably could be the only way I could explain the reason why the bank did not do that. Because the rule actually said the bank should satisfy itself as to the authenticity of that instrument before it acts, before it advised. But the bank did not do it. And it passed through two banks, and the two of them did not do it. Anyway, they are called. Let's see. I'm interested in the outcome of that judgment. The fact that the bank lacked capacity and understanding of the need to promote its product is a sign of lack of export readiness. The case also showed that export readiness factor that this company lacked among 5 P's of export readiness criteria is promotion. There are consequences for venturing into export business when the company in question is yet to be ready to go global. In the case of this company, it is the huge loss incurred in its export business operation. This goes to show that the promotion in the export market is a very important strategy for a business that will be successful and sustainable in the export market.